What up, y'all? It's your boy Martine, aka the Boxing Purist. Welcome once again to the Truth and Absolute channel, where I speak the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me, good God Almighty. Okay, now listen, man. If you're new to the channel, if this is your first time stopping by, thank you for coming by. It means a whole lot. If you've been subscribed to the channel, much love. Thank y'all for coming back. And let's get right into this one. So tonight we got a card, right? A real good, two good A-sides in Tank Davis and David, the Mexican monster Benavidez. Now, let's talk about the fights. Let's start with the Benavidez fight first. Now, I think a lot of us kind of saw this coming, right? I think a lot of us kind of saw this coming. And let me tell you, man, there's two ways to look at it. And this is the problem with buying into your own hype and thinking you're bigger than you really are and just all around running your mouth like crazy. Now, whatever is all said and done, whatever David said, whatever he's been talking and all that, it's, he could say whatever he wants. It's totally fine. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad thing. Just don't expect to get, bigger opportunities acting that way. Now, in the beginning, when David said he was going to 175, right, he was talking about Benavidez and Dimitri Bivol and all them guys. Now, of course, it's not a smart move to jump to 175 and try to land a fight with the two best guys in that division, right? And that's not what we're talking about here. But as soon as we saw the first face-off when they were announcing this card with Tank and David Benavidez headlining it, instantly, you saw that he went from being the Mexican monster to just the Mexican. You know what I'm saying? Equal in size to, I still can't pronounce the dude's name, but y'all know who I'm talking about, man. The Ukrainian cat, 37 years old, been out the game for a while. That dude, right? So as soon as you saw that the size-wise, they were pretty much the same, David might be even just a hair smaller than that other dude, you knew that it was going to change the demographic of the fight. And why is that? Why is it going to change the demographic of the fight? What am I trying to say? Because David has been at super middleweight for 168. And honestly, man, in my personal opinion, that is highly impressive that David, being as big as he is, was able to make 168 for that long. You know what I'm saying? David has been too big for 168 for a very, very long time. And you guys saw what happens when you fight at a weight that's closer to your weight, what could happen inside of that ring. I'm not going to take credit away from David Benavidez because he got the job done, right? Congratulations to him. He did what he had to do to get a fight or to win the fight against my man over here. However, let's be real with you, okay? And you guys, I'm not going to call y'all even David Benavidez fans. I just got a simple question, please. Don't let your emotions get in the way. Just answer me straight up. Did y'all expect David Benavidez to perform better than what he did? With all the hype surrounding him, mentioning Canelo, possible Canelo clash, the Canelo dethroner and all that, did you guys not expect David to get in there and pretty much run through this guy? Now, for you in the back that's saying, yeah, but this was his debut at 175. He's never fought at 175, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I can name a couple other guys. Do y'all remember that Canelo jumped up to 175 to face Sergey Kovalev? I get it. Sergey Kovalev wasn't the crusher when Canelo fought him. Nonetheless, he was bigger than Canelo by a big amount, and he was still a better fighter than this dude that David just fought. So I don't want to hear those excuses. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because all the talk that David was doing, when he started saying stuff like, oh, I got the best of Bivol in sparring, or Canelo is not that good. You're welcome to have an opinion, man. The only thing, when you're a professional boxer and you got that kind of following and you're saying stuff like that, sounding like a casual, now you better get inside that ring and perform great. You better get inside that ring and just wash this dude. You better make a statement saying, this is why Canelo doesn't want to fight me. This is why Canelo does not want to get in the ring and share the ring with me because of what I just did. And it didn't quite play out that way. That's the problem with running your mouth that much, that now you're expected to perform at that level. And I get it. I've never been in the position of David Benavidez. David Benavidez in the last year or two got super, super popular. And I'll say it again, broken record. because his name is tied to Canelo. Too often his name is tied to Canelo. It sells. It's what people want to watch. It's what people want to listen to. They want to hear his opinion on it, right? The problem is he gained that fame, and I feel like David bought into his own hype. Like, yeah, I am one of the men in the sport. And I did see the interview when he was naming top 5 fighters, bogus list. But again, man, you talk like this, you better go in there and perform. David was landing his shots, okay? I was very surprised to see that David was gassing out towards the end. For my man that he fought, the Ukrainian cat, that dude, he has been out the game for a while, didn't get a tune-up fight coming in, so maybe that's why he appeared like he was kind of there just to perform, not necessarily to win. Nonetheless, those things don't fall on David. That's not David's fault. That's what the other guy did. But it seemed like he had a lot more that he could have offered that he just wasn't trying to do. We'll see how serious that dude was on his ring return following the next months, if he keeps trying to get fights or if he just came to fight David and now he's gone again. We're going to see all that. Now, David setting up the big shots on this guy. David trying to press the issue on this guy. If you guys saw, there's a lot of flaws when it comes to it, and it's okay because David is 26, 27 years old. He can make improvements on these things. He could see what he did wrong. He could go and try to improve in the gym, go out his next fight and perfect it and get better. As of right now, it would be the wrong move for David to try to get the Canelo fight, because let me tell you guys, man, there's levels to this game. If you're being real with yourself, there was a lot of things that David was doing in there that Canelo would have just pulverized him. Canelo would have stopped that David Benavidez that we saw tonight. And you guys got to remember, look how David looked in his physical. Look how his physical looked. At 175 when he made weight, he looked drained. Imagine when he was fighting at 68. To fight Canelo, go back to 168. And again, man, I'm not trying to necessarily hate on David. Again, David has made his name, all that, but this is what happens when you buy into your own fight, into your own hype, and that's just what happens. Now you got to perform. Anything less than excellent, you're going to get criticized for it because you talked a big one. You took aim at other fighters, and you didn't perform the very best. So we'll see what comes from this, man. You could tell David wasn't happy with his performance. Again, I'm not taking from him. I'm just keeping it real. If you're going to throw criticism, you better be open to taking it right back. Now, as far as Tank Davis goes, the problem with that fight that I saw happening, and a lot of you guys, in the comments in the past, sometimes think that I just got something against Tank. Listen, Tank seems like a likable dude. Adding up to the fight, he talks, he acts his way, but he seems like a likable guy. Tank seems like a good dude. My issue with Tank, the boxer, and how the media does it and how PBC does it is that, and you guys know I'm not lying when it comes to this one, Tank will sit there and say he'll beat Shakur Stevenson, he'll beat Teofimo Lopez, he'll beat all these dudes, Conor Ben, and then he ends up fighting Frank Martin. You know what I'm saying? Frank Martin was doing good in there too. The problem with Frank Martin, and once again, this is not Tank Davis's fault. This is Frank Martin's fault. Frank Martin, although he had some good rounds, although he had some good moments, although he performed semi-well, he was there to survive. He was scared from the get-go. You could see it in his body language. You could see it all over Frank Martin that he was a little scared, a little intimidated going into that fight. You know what I'm saying? He had good moments, whatever. The night kind of ended up how we thought it was going to end up. Of course, Tank got the knockout. Big ups to Tank for that. I know a lot of you guys were expecting David Benavidez to just knock out dude, and he had moments where he was catching him, but I'm telling you, David was a monster at 168, a literal monster at 168, because it's called the weight bully. If there was another way that I could word it, I would, to not hurt no one's feelings. You guys saw the monster at 168 didn't carry over to 175. The same thing happened with Chavez Jr. when he was fighting. He was looking really, really good. You know what I'm saying? Fighting little dudes, fighting at 160. The second he went up and fought, I think that dude's name was Fonfara or something like that. He was the same size, and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. got mopped up by the dude. David Benavidez didn't get mopped up, and now you got to think about that performance going into other fights in that weight division. David Benavidez, if he's smart and if he really wants to create his own lane in the sport, create his own legacy without tagging on to no one else's name, that man needs to just keep taking fights. Don't try to jump into the big fights yet, man. He's not at that level. The only thing that's going to happen if he takes big fights, whether it be Canelo, whether it be Benavidez, whether it be Bivol, any of them cats, the only thing that's going to happen is he's going to look not good at all. He's going to end up losing, and all that credibility, all the hype, all the fame that got built up by being counter Canelo is going to go down the drain. Is what's going to happen. So the card was okay, man. Again, it kind of ended up how we thought it was going to come out. What do you guys think of it? What do you guys think of David's performance? And that, man, yo, keep it real. You don't got to hate on the dude, but keep it real. What do y'all think of Tank's performance? Do you think that next he's actually going to fight a Shakur or Teofimo or rematch with Ryan without a rehydration clause? Let me know what y'all think, man. I'll do a follow-up on this. Drop a comment down below and let's talk boxing. Much love. God bless y'all. God bless the USA. Have a great night, y'all. Peace.